Hello and welcome to another episode of Swim Sets by the Pool podcast. This is the podcast where you get free swim workouts and tips on how to swim better from two professional triathletes and ex-collegiate college swimmers. My name is Nathan Cohen. With me as always is the one and only Greg Harper. Greg, how are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing well. Can't complain. Excited to dissect another swim workout with my main man, Nate. And
Nice.
yeah, like Nate said, we both swam in college. Nate started swimming late in life. I've been
hmm
swimming my whole life. And I think, like I always say, two differing perspectives is always good when you're talking about swimming because not everything clicks with everyone in the same way.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like my specialty is like helping people who started swimming as like adults because like that's kind of what I did and I kind of get it. And then Greg is just like he has such a high level of swimming and he's been coached by like Olympic coaches. So he has like this very nuanced like high level.
No, I'm well rounded. I know everything, but I know elite
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, he could do everything, but like I wouldn't feel comfortable coaching like a high level swimmer, but like Greg is like, yeah, I could do that. I'm
I think
good at
that's fair.
coaching people who don't know how to swim, is what I'm saying, and
Hey,
kids.
that I feel like that's almost more important, because
Yeah.
that's hopefully people are listening, right? They're triathletes, they're trying to get better, they're struggling, they're frustrated, and like that's super, super important for sure.
hmm Sweet. Well, Greg, you got some news for us?
Yes, we have our first show sponsor, which is Blank's Sports Nutrition, which is started by my buddy Mike Arashida, who's a pro triathlete. And as a pro, like starting a business and stuff, that's so hard. So uh, just support other pros doing businesses is amazing. And Blanks is like a fraction of the cost of like Morton and stuff, and you can like completely customize everything to like carb ratio, sodium, caffeine, like how thick you want. And they have a powdered gel, which is like in disposable flasks and stuff. So honestly, and they're making new products all the time. I mean, Tyler Michalchek used it in the Olympics. Like high level athletes are using it. Born in Flagstaff, and just really good people. So what is it? Swim sets 10 gets you
Yeah.
10% off.
Swim sets 10 gets you 10% off. That's going to be right at the top of our description and all that for all our podcast players. And yeah, I've used Blanks and they have a ton of awesome flavors too. I love their custom mix. I like to mix apple and root beer.
Mm.
It tastes like caramel apple. It's really good. I'm a
Dude,
flavor
mixing
guy.
it.
I like flavors.
I mean, I'm a blue raspberry like whore.
The blue
I like
raspberry
it.
is
I love
good.
it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can mix two. Yeah, it's amazing. They even have recovery stuff, and I mean, honestly, I could go on and on about Blanks. I did last year to some people, and they're like, "Oh, are you sponsored by Blanks?" I was like, "No, dude. I'm a
It's just
fan."
good.
So
It's just good.
I am sponsored by Blanks this year now, but yeah, we're massive fans. But anyway, that's our boy Mike Arashida at Blank Sports Nutrition. So yeah, go support him. And Nate has got a quick tip for us to start off the
Yes.
episode.
I've got a quick tip. I just stole this morning from one of the coaches of like the junior team. And yeah, he just said if you want to swim fast, like that's your goal is to swim fast. So like that's most people who swim. Like most people want to improve and get a little bit better. And he's like, you got to swim fast, you know? Like you got to commit to it. Like what he's saying is you got to focus in, do some short intervals and do them really, really fast. You know, if you're doing 2100s fast, those are not going to be top end speed because you're going to build up so much fatigue doing that and you're trying to make it through that set. So if you mentally just like get on the blocks and just like fast 25, like really swim fast, that's going to help you out. And it's going to just like help you to find efficiency in new ways. Like me and Greg say this a lot, but you have to have this base level of speed to find efficiency in your stroke.
100%. And yeah, you don't have to crush. People think fast swimming is like, oh yeah, I did some fast swimming. I'll hear triathletes say this. Yeah, I did some fast stuff, 2100s. I'm like, that's like tempo or like threshold or
Yeah.
something. It's like, yes, you can go fast on that, but it's not actually speed work. But you don't have to like crush pace 50s over and over either. Like you can do really small bouts of it. And I think that's almost the best because then you aren't overly fatigued, but you're like getting that like even neuromuscular like stimulus
Mhm.
and like swimming is very brain and body, so it kind of puts yourself in a position to succeed if you can like do small short intervals to yeah learn how to swim fast if your 25 gets faster, your 100 will probably get faster, and then your Ironman will probably get faster. It's like we're always need to focus on being fast. And I think there's a lot of pro triathletes out there who are too slow, and the level is too high now. So they need to go back to basics and work on their speed essentially.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see. Like, I've been thinking about this. This is kind of like a side topic, but Greg doesn't think swimming in pro triathlon has peaked. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I'm like, man, like how much faster could like 70.3 times be? Like, could we see people swimming under 20 minutes in like a legit swim? Like, is that like 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line? Who knows?
I think it's gonna be like more condensed, essentially. I mean, if you saw it at the World Champs, where I let out at the
Hmm.
70.3 World Champs,
Yeah, yeah.
there was like 15 or 20 guys within maybe like 40 seconds or 30 to 40 seconds. So it was
Hmm.
really, and I swam like 21:47. I think the course probably slightly short, but
Yeah.
that's like, there was a big chunk of guys. I think we're just going to see more guys in that range, essentially,
Mm.
especially with more ITU guys like post Olympics. And that's where you make money.
Hmm.
Long course. That's what sponsors care about. So I don't, I don't think people are going to get crazy faster at the top. Maybe slightly. I mean, you get some more athletes like guys like who swam in college like me who are faster than I was, and then they come
Hmm.
into pro triathlon. But I think that density of like what it takes to be competitive in the swim will like be very, very close, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it happens. And I think we're finally getting to the point where if you're a pro and you're not swimming at least somewhat fast, like somewhat close to the front, the race kind of rides away from you, you know? Like it
Yeah.
seems like you really have to be in the front to be in the race, you know? It's very rare, you know. I mean, I was looking back at Kona results even. It's very rare that someone will be on the podium who wasn't in the first or second pack.
Yeah, most definitely. Or it can be a guy like Sam Long or Jackson Laundry, and but even both of them, like coming out 2 minutes back at the North American 70.3,
Hmm.
okay, but at a World Champs,
Yeah.
no, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they're focused on. So
Hmm.
yeah, it kind of depends what level you want to be. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into the set. This is a perfectly written set by yours truly
Oh,
for
wow.
my new master's gig that I have. So it's 3 mornings a week. It's at this like kind of bougie country club, so it's kind of fun. These people are like they're here for just some exercise and some social.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say there's many. There was one girl who swam in college who showed up today, who was a decent swimmer, but everyone else is like I would say pretty like not beginner. They've all swum before, but no one is like particularly fast.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's just kind of how the workouts go. And this is like 2,000 maybe, and then a little extra at the end. They typically get through like 2,200 in like an hour. So you can,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of the speed that they're moving in. But
Hmm.
yeah, what are your initial thoughts? Eight
Yes.
minutes warm up.
8 minutes warm up choice, classic Masters, classic. And then 3 times 425s kick strong, and then plus 100 free. Um, yeah, that's cool. 4 times 25 kick. I'm assuming you're in a 25 yard or meter
Yeah,
pool.
yep.
Yeah, nice. No, I like that. I like that. Are you having them kick with a board or
Kind
like
of choice, but yeah, they
good
they use a
choice?
board.
Okay.
Uh, I think it's like a bit hard for them, which is like, I mean, they're there to like burn some calories too. So I'm like, I've kind of been putting a little bit of kick in each day, and like, oh, this is tough, and I'm like, well, that's good. That's kind of what you're here for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to force them to like work harder than they might have thought, but not like absolutely kill them that they don't want to come back. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
threading that line. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think that's cool. I think that's a nice warm up. And yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I try and always do a little bit of kick in my warm up. Lately, I've been doing a little bit more like kick on my back and side kick. Um, just because I feel like I used to kick too much with just the board. And
mm.
yeah, just try to mix it up a little bit.
I'm not like a super big fan of board kicking. Like
Hmm.
now that I've gotten older, so even one person was like, "Oh, my back's kind of hurting." I'm like, "Yeah, just like maybe hold the bottom of the board or like go into streamline or something because it just put you in a weird body position a lot of the
Hmm.
time. Where your head's very up and like even your back can be arched. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think you got to be strategic with it, and I think with a board, like holding it and with your face in the water, like with a snorkel, like that's good board kicking. But like if you're like on
Yeah.
top of your board with like a weird position, it's yeah, I don't know how much that's you're just not swimming in that position. So it doesn't translate super well.
Yeah, dude, I've seen people use like two boards before just so
Yeah.
they float like extra much. But yeah, and then yeah, this main set, I kind of like it. It goes up in intervals as the distance goes down. So it starts with 150 of 50 non-free, 100 free, and then 275s is 25 low breath count, 50 choice, and then 650s alternate fast easy, and then 825s easy fast. What are you doing for that low breath count right there? Just like
I
whatever
was
they
just like
can.
try to go 2 or less. Like some of them
Hmm.
got 1, a couple of them maybe got 0, and I reminded them that like 8-year-olds do no breaths,
Yeah,
and then maybe they all got a little bit better on the one after that, you know?
nice. The first one always is the worst. The first no
Yeah.
breather always feels a little bit a certain way, but then after that, you're like, oh, this is fine. I'm not gonna die.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's just the natural response too. Is like swimming is somewhat of like a unnatural thing, you know? Like you have a natural fear of drowning because that like is
Yeah.
a real thing. So you have to kind of like fight that. And I feel like that's maybe what you're kind of overcoming that first no breather is like, oh, like I need this oxygen, you know? But then it's like, oh, you could actually last a little longer.
Yeah, you can last a lot longer. And, you know, if you're ever at the pool and you blow out your air enough to sink to the bottom and
Hmm.
you've like you think you've blown out all your air, you could probably sit down there for another 20, 30 seconds if you stay composed when you know, in reality, there's still a lot of air in your lungs. Like you're never gonna exhaust. If you exhaust all the oxygen in your lungs, they just like collapse. I'm pretty sure that takes minutes. Like
Yeah.
it's just like that's just not. You're never gonna get to that point unless you're thinking you need air for a long period of time,
Hmm.
excruciatingly. But yeah, and it always just I think it's just part of warm up too, you know, like doing that little breath count work, opening up the lungs. Like you said, it's unnatural. Like breathing it can be continuous a little bit, but then also there's periods where you're gonna have to hold your breath, like through the turn or however you
Hmm.
like to breathe. So it's not always like a continuous breathing pattern.
Yeah, I was doing today, I did a 500 where each 50 was, it was 3 breaths, 5 breaths, and then 7, and it was pretty chill at the start, but, like, the last one on 7 breaths, especially, like, flip turning and then, like, holding my
Every
breath
7
for that.
strokes, yeah,
Yeah, every 7 strokes, yeah,
yeah,
breathing, and it got a little hard towards the end, but it was fun.
totally. Well, it sounds like you did it the right way. I feel like people sometimes like, oh, it's the wall, and then they can just like breathe off of it. It's like no, if you do
Yeah.
3 into the wall, you flip turn, and then you got 4 more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that, or else it just becomes like pretty easy if you just do it in a 25-yard pool and breathe on every wall.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, especially sometimes if you're swimming easy or you're like a little bit taller, like oh maybe I'm kind of swimming long, and then you're like
Mhm.
wow I'm actually holding my breath for 10 plus seconds, which yeah is a long time in the pool.
Yeah, for sure. This is nice. Honestly, I might do this set tomorrow morning because I'm doing reef and run in the evening, so I always like to just do like 3K, pretty chill, with just a little bit of speed because I know I'm gonna
Hmm.
swim like 2K as hard as I can at like 6:30. Um,
Yeah, this actually would not be like a decent. This would be like an okay like prep set for like a
yeah.
like what you're what about to do, or even like the day before a race. I mean, maybe a little bit much, but yeah, I
Hmm.
mean that's the thing. It's not like this crazy high level team. So these workouts are supposed to be like small chunks and manageable, but there's also enough that they can push themselves and like feel successful in the workout that they did.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the thing that I like about this set too is it doesn't look super hard like on paper, so you can allow yourself to, if you're feeling better that day, you can really like push the fast ones and be like, oh wow, like maybe you impress yourself with like one of the 50s that you swim, you're like, oh, I did that like pretty fast. Whereas like I feel like if it's a big set where you're like, oh shoot, I got like 5K 6K today, it's like I gotta conserve my energy, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's cool. And then at the end, optional 3 by 100 free descend stroke count, each 25 by 1 stroke. That's solid. And then 2 100 IMs. I like that.
I don't think anyone got to the
No.
optional. Like maybe some people did some freestyle at towards the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you said, it's like give people a chance to go hard if they want. And there's also like some non-free and stuff in there. And
Mhm.
I mean, we did a couple hundred IMs actually at the workout today, and Yeah, it's challenging. The kick is challenging for them too. So it's kind of a mix. I would say it's like half kind of hard and like half easy. I'm trying to get them to say, okay, on the fast, I want you guys, I want to see some speed. And on the easy, I
Mhm.
want you to go so easy. I'm trying to get them to do the non-masters medium all the time,
Yeah, that's
which
hard.
is, it's hard to do for that type of group of people. And some of them just don't have the gears, but like hopefully by the end of this like 6 weeks that I'm coaching, that they have a little bit more like, yeah, changing of the gears. And I think they've enjoyed the set. So it's been fun.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's a really solid set, and it's nice. What should we title this set in the episode? Like, what is this a good
Hmm.
set for?
Like just, I feel like it's like a 45-minute like maintenance type of set, right? There's like a
Yeah.
little bit of everything, a little bit of speed. It's not going to kill you, but it's like, oh, I have 45-minute swim, medium effort, or like kind of flex too, which honestly, that's how
Mhm.
I write a lot of workouts is like, oh, descend if feeling good. Oh, y- push it to X effort if feeling good. If not, keep it steady. Oh, go
Mhm.
fast here. I think that's just kind of the way to do it. People get really caught up in saying this is a hard swim today, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's just not the day for it, and it's really
Yeah.
hard to predict. And I think I'll feel good one day, and feel bad, and then I roll with it how I feel on another day. And I've been doing this a long time. It's
Mhm.
still hard to predict, especially in the context of bike and run fatigue as well.
Yeah.
I think triathletes get out there and just grind on days and they're not feeling super great. And I think that's kind of a recipe for, yeah, creating bad habits essentially.
Dude, yeah, I've been feeling that so much lately because I'm training for my first 70.3. So I've been riding the TT bike a little more. And like
Mm.
just like my triceps and like little muscles in my back are so much more sore than like usual. Cause like the road bike's chill, like the road bike's a pretty neutral position. But like that TT bike, it's like, oh man. Like I hop in the pool the next day after like a 3-4 hour ride and I'm just like cooked. I'm just like,
Yep.
oh man. But hopefully
No,
I'm fast.
100%.
I don't know.
Yeah. And well, and like the positions these days are like usually pretty long and stuff. It's
Mhm.
like, it really, yeah, it requires a bit of like strength in the upper body like that. And, I did that a swim camp with Sam Long
Mhm.
like the other week, and what makes him so good at being a time trialist is like he's like crazy tight, but he can
Mhm.
hold arrow like so good, and so can Lionel. They're so good at holding arrow. It's like
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I feel better on my TT than my road bike. I'm like, that's crazy, dude.
Mhm.
But then he gets in the pool and he's like stiff in a weird way,
Mm.
right? He doesn't have the mobility. Like streamlining is not easy for him, and I'm like, oh, we need to work on that. So yeah, it's kind of this push pull, which with some of these guys and different body
Yeah.
types like really succeed at different things.
Yeah, for sure. I've also been trying to like loosen up my ankles a little bit more because like my ankles get so stiff from running. And I was kicking with fins and I was really just trying to like let my ankle move with the fin kind of thing
Mm.
because I was noticing if I didn't focus on it, I would just kind of be locked in my ankle. So I was really trying to like let the fin help my ankles loosen up. But
I
yeah,
think that's
so
smart. Yeah.
yeah,
The fins can be a good tool for that, and especially
mhm.
if you're like a runner. I mean, you got to be
Yeah.
careful. Like you can't crush tons of fins, but
Yeah, yeah.
for loosening up the ankles is big. I mean, especially those like long time runners, and they come into the pool and they're just swimming with like a club for, or their
Yeah,
foot's
yeah.
just in dorsiflexion, and like you're dragging, like you're not going to
Yeah.
swim fast if it's like that, for sure.
Sweet. Well, cool. I hope you guys like this set. I'm literally gonna do this set tomorrow and I'll probably post about it on Instagram, see how it goes. And yeah.
I was impressed with my writing. I don't know if anyone's watching.
No, that's good handwriting.
I'm pretty impressed with it, and the one I wrote today, I think, was even better. So I'm really upping my
Oh wow,
skills in my
great.
writing department.
Hyping himself up. I honestly, I mean, I didn't notice that it was bad, so that's a compliment. I was like, oh, it's
Exactly.
very clear, easy to read. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it's like, oh wow. Um, yeah, sweet, you guys. Well, great. Do you have anything you learned in like the last couple weeks? You're coaching Sam, doing all this stuff.
Yeah, like, well, I had a one. Yeah, it's hard to say. I had a thought. Now, what I've learned about Sam is, yeah, I think that we're always like harping on gear in this podcast, and I think we used a lot of gear when I was with Sam, but like under a watchful eye and like very strategically. It's like
Mhm.
we used like a tons of different stuff, like band assisted swimming and like lots of different like different types of paddles, all this type of stuff. But like when there's a coach on deck watching you use these and seeing how you respond, it can be incredibly effective. But
Mhm.
if you don't have that, it's like that's why the gear can become the crutch. So
Mhm.
it was like, oh, okay, gear can be really effective, and it was kind of like nice to learn about that. In a like I've never done a full on like 4 or 5 day intensive camp with someone. I
Mhm.
also think band assisted swimming is like kind of underrated. Like
Yeah.
you can really feel drag more when you're moving at a fast speed. So I
Yeah.
even pulled Sam in like in different body positions. I'm like, okay, hold your head a little higher on this one. Okay, now hold it a little bit lower. Which one feels better? And I was just pulling him across the pool. He was basically floating and getting pulled across. So he could feel the drag. He can
Mm.
feel what speed creates drag, and then he can like decipher. Because sometimes you're doing a drill and you're going so damn slow that like
Yeah.
it's really hard to tell how you're doing. So, fins can be good for drills in that scenario. So that was one thing I learned from swam.
Nice. That's awesome.
Um and then one other I wrote down a hot take and I just was like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because you're a good swimmer doesn't make you a good coach. Um
Ooh.
and I think that's super true. I know a lot of like I know some young college swimmers or whatnot, and I think they will become I know good swimmers who I think can become good coaches, but and they probably lack the yeah, just experience and actually trying to coach someone. So yeah, I think that's. However, there are some good swimmers who will naturally be really good coaches, but it doesn't always go hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna clip that audio of what you said about band assisted swimming and actually have a video from my training camp in Africa of us doing that. We just like walked to the end of the pool with like the band like tied to the diving block, and we would jump in and swim like a 25. So I have a couple videos of that. I'll post that on our YouTube shorts.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like Sam would sit on the wall and I would walk the band over. And I would like you'd move backwards and I would be pulling it. So like he had speed the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, you look good." And it was like we're kind of a running joke, like, "Oh, if you didn't look good on that, then like we're doomed." Like
Yeah.
when you're getting pulled across the pool, it's like, "Oh, you didn't look good." It's like, "All right, just quit. Like you're never gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
good."
Nice.
Anyway,
That's awesome. Well, sweet. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like we said at the beginning, check out Blank Sport Nutrition. Use that code SWIMSETS10 to get 10% off. I would recommend trying their custom mix. It's summer, things are heating up. Add a little extra sodium to it because you can do that. You can't do that with any other nutrition company. So, yeah,
it's a good call. It's a
check it
good
out.
call.
And yeah, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel and look at our shorts too. Like I mentioned, we post some cool shorts and yeah, it's pretty fun. So, yeah, sweet.
Sweet.